sincerely apologize. The events which took place. We offer our deepest condolences. Lives and relations. Please sincerely apologize. Keep fighting for all the events which took place.
We sincerely apologise for all the events that took place.
So, how did I find out about the laundries? Wait. What are the laundries? Don't you know? I went to uni in the early 2000s in Hull, and I watched this movie, The Magdalene Sisters. At the end of the movie, there was hundreds upon hundreds of women's names, all victims. I waited to the last credit roll. I wanted to see what had been done to help these women. Nothing. Nothing been done. Yeah, there was a movie, showbiz and premiere, but nothing's been done. No helpline, no investigation, nobody cares. I mean, let's not ruin the image of Highland by defending its citizens. That'd just be wrong, yeah? I mean, how can a country that prides itself on being so pure be so impure? And to what gain? Aren't these women's and babies' lives worth anything? That's it. It's the worth. What price would you put on tearing a child away from its mother? And what price would you put on years of abuse and rape? And what price would you put on years and years of slave labour? It all comes down to greed. I couldn't get these women's names out of my mind. Somebody had to help them. Somebody had to speak up. You see, these women are not just numbers. They're not just the dark part of Ireland's past. These women are human beings. And this is their story.
Our Father, who art in heaven.
I run a tight ship. Somebody has to, or this place would be chaos. These girls need order, and that's what they're going to get. I wake up at 4:30 every morning to ensure that I am prepared to supervise. I endure a long day consisting of prayer, recollection, and administrative duties. I work just as hard as everybody else. Hard work is the key to keeping this convent consistent. Some people would say I'm bossy, but I just know that I'm organised.
I have devoted my life to God. I wake up before sunrise. I spend every day helping these ungrateful girls find their way back to God, to cleanse them of their sins. And do you think I feel pitiful or guilty towards them? Why would I pity these attention-seeking little girls who brought this all on themselves? They have all committed sins which brought them to this place. I have given my life to God, and He sent me to the same place. They get food, wear, a roof over their head, and a place to hide away from the shame. We provide this for them. Without us, where would they be? So no, I don't feel pitiful or guilty.
We were locked in cells, with bolts on the outside. Every night the nun on duty would lock us in. We had to use a pot and slop out every morning in a communal area. The stench was horrific. Once I was accused of stealing someone's sweets. I told the nun in charge I didn't take them. My protests fell on deaf ears and I was locked in a padded cell for 3 days and 3 nights. Today I will call it solitary confinement.
What am I if not a slave? A wash, clean and mourn. A wash, sweet bread and weep from morning till night. I do nothing but washing. I wash all day, 9 hours a day. Me hands are aching. And what are you if not a master? You beat, oppress, and steal. You lie, cheat, and steal. That's all in the name of God. For 4 long years, I've cleaned your laundry, cleaned your floors, emptied dirty dishes. What am I if not a person? A number? I breathe like everyone else. What am I if not a slave?
There is a house built out of stone, wooden floors, walls, and window sills.
don't know why I'm here.
She's brought him here.
Who's this woman?
She's brought him here.
And why is she behind the gate? I don't know why I'm here.
She's brought him here.
Who's this woman?
She's brought him here.
Why is she behind the gate?
It's time to live. Out in the garden where we planted the seeds, there's a tree as old
There's that woman again.
He's beautiful.
She's smiling
He's beautiful.
and smiled back.
color green. Ground had rose and passed its leaves.
There's that woman again.
He's
All
beautiful.
the cracks of his skin.
She's smiling
He's beautiful.
and smiled back.
I climbed the tree to see the world. When gods came around to go down, how I was telling as you held on me. How I was telling as you held on me.
I know her.
My boy.
I know I do.
My boy.
Mummy?
Yes.
I know her.
My boy.
I know I do.
My boy. My boy. When I was 21, I felt a need and a curiosity to trace my beginnings. I'd been adopted at 9 months and I always knew that. After a 2-year search, my social worker contacted to say she traced my biological mother and she was ready to meet. I expected to find a married woman with other children who'd moved on with her life. Nothing prepared me for what I found. Margaret Bullen had been committed to Ireland's industrial school system at the age of 2 because her mother was unwell and her father was unable to take care
of their 7 children. That was the end of Margaret and the outside world. By the age of 5, she was preparing breakfast for 70 children, including herself. Margaret continued her childhood and puberty in these institutions without the chance to grow up. At 16, she was transferred to Gloucester Street Magdalen Laundry off O'Connell Street in Dublin. There, she toiled, unpaid, for the rest of her life. You know, despite being in the care of the church and state, Margaret became pregnant twice. Although she didn't live in the free world, never had a boyfriend, went on a date. At 19, she gave birth to my twin sister Etta and myself. Upon being informed that her daughters had traced her, Margaret had an emotional breakdown because she couldn't recall giving birth. Presumably due to the post-traumatic stress of having us taken from her without consent or warning only 7 weeks after we were born. I remember the day me and Etta went to meet her at the Gresham Hotel. We didn't know how to be. Were we supposed to love her? Like her? She was carrying a handbag and it was completely empty. She didn't own anything. She didn't have any money. She was lovely. And I remember she kept asking us these extremely innocent questions. And it was the first time she'd ever had coffee. Coffee. I couldn't believe she was 42. She looked like a pensioner. I kept looking into her face to find a 42-year-old. Couldn't. She didn't tell us all the details of her life. She was too ashamed. She seemed to think we might look down on her. And that was understandable because the rest of society had been conditioned to feel superior to these fallen women. We enjoyed a few years of knowing Margaret, but due to the lapse of time and her severe institutionalisation, it was a bumpy road for all of us. Margaret died while still on the inside. She was 1 day shy of her 51st birthday. A death certificate recorded death as Goodpasture syndrome, a disease caused by the inhalation of chemicals used in laundries. She's buried in Glasnevin Cemetery, in a communal grave, in the shadows of Michael Collins and Daniel O'Connell, the great liberators. For Margaret, an apology is all that she can expect from beyond the grave. And you know what? I'd welcome that. And I'm convinced that she will be aware of a vindication and her moral victory. Rest in peace, Mum.
Forget the look on her face when she was found. First horror and then pure relief. Without words, just a look and a smile. We knew then it'd all been worthwhile. We've certainly been on a journey together.
It was eating away at me. The guilt, the shame, the embarrassment. Even if I was doing the right thing, it still felt like a huge secret to me. I hadn't even told one man I loved and trusted. That's something I'll always regret. Not having the courage to share that part of myself.
Before I met Kathleen, no one would talk to me. And who can blame them? Haven't these women been through enough without me bringing it all back up again? Making them relive the trauma. I wanted to help, but where was I going to start? Just another door slammed.
Then I met Stephen. And for the first time in my life, I felt listened to and cared for, and that's so important. Especially when you've experienced something so traumatising at such a young age.
It all started with Kathleen. I couldn't believe it when she let me in. This woman of 70 years old telling me her deepest, darkest secrets. The story I heard that day, her story, things like that, they really stay with you. We wanted justice. We were onto something.
I was never beaten, never raped. But the emotional abuse from so-called servants of God deeply affected me, traumatised me. But Stephen gave me the courage to share my story, to seek the justice I deserved. He was really there.
When Kathleen opened the door to me, she opened the door to all those women. She let them know it's okay, share your story, they can't hurt you now. If we knew that day the effect her words would have, all I kept thinking of was, who's being held accountable? Where are all these women now? What's being done?
I was so scared. Who was I to talk on behalf of all those women who had it even worse than me? Was anyone going to believe a word I said?
Before I met Kathleen, I went to the Ministry of Justice and no one would talk to me. But with Kathleen by my side, they had a real life Magdalene survivor in front of them, sharing her own experiences. You should have seen their faces. We're out for justice. We went up and down the country and Kathleen never complained once. The days were long.
It was hard talking about all the terrible things that had happened to me. I knew it was the right thing to do. For me. For all those women. The memories are still very much there. There are some things you just can't block out. And they'll be with me till the day I die.
All the time we spent together, we shared and we experienced a lot. I took her back to the hometown where she was in, back to the laundry she was in. We laughed, we cried. Most importantly, we became friends.
It was a lot of responsibility from each shoulder. These women had it worse than me, and yet I was the one who would expose their stories. I could not have done it without Stephen by my side.
We fought for justice right to the end. I was so proud that day we said goodbye to Kathleen, to see so many of the Magdalene women there. We said goodbye to our whispering hope. We founded the Magdalene Survivors Campaign together, which is still helping women to this day. Kathleen brought those women out of the darkness and into the light, and that will forever be her legacy.
Did they mention what time they'd be here?
They just said they'd arrive roughly around midday.
I don't know why they're getting involved. This is our job, not theirs. I'm sure they've got plenty of other things to be doing.
I don't know why you're so bothered. Aren't you happy that they're helping us with this and not just leaving us to deal with it ourselves? Remember, Martin, they are people of our faith. Surely that's their motivation.
You think this is about faith? It's never about faith or God.
I assure you, Senator, everything we do is for our faith.
And it would do you well to remind yourself that to talk of God in such a way is heresy. Senator, please.
I'm sorry, it seems I've forgotten myself. Thank you for making yourselves available for this crucial matter.
Yes, we are very pleased with the Church's help in this matter.
There is no need to thank us, we are just doing our jobs. Therefore, don't expect thanks when your job is done too.
Excuse me?
Due to some of the attention some of our previous workers have been attracted, we're having you compile a basic report on the institutions to help calm the masses. These are the areas the report will cover.
Now, once the report is finished, but before it is published, you will send us a provisional copy so that we can look over the crucial details.
Why the Senator then? Surely someone in the Justice Department.
Who better than an honest and devout man of God, such as the Senator? Plus, being so close to the Church means that we can personally collaborate with you on this project.
And what will this report be about exactly?
You will investigate the state's involvement with the Magdalene robberies between the years 1922 and 1996. No more, no less.
Who else would be working on this, though? Surely not one man can do this job.
Why? Just the very people in this room. Sure, it'll be a difficult task. But with God on our side, I'm sure he can help us unearth the truth against these accusations.
What do we tell the press and those who inquired? Surely when they find out
You
this...
tell them we've established a committee working to bring about the truth. Yes, the truth and justice.
For God will demand justice.
We will begin the report immediately.
Very good. Now we have many other matters to attend to, gentlemen. So, good day, Senator.
Professor.
Sister Ash. But Sister Ash.
Father, Mother.
Hi, Josephine.
Sit, Chrissy. Josephine, what is rule number 1 in this convent?
Not to make friends.
That's correct, Josephine. And can you tell me what happened earlier in the dining hall?
I helped Chrissy pick up the food.
Correct. And would you call that an act of friendliness?
That's
call it an act of God.
Would you call that an act of friendliness?
Yes, Mum.
Correct. And you do know you have to pay for your sins, Josephine. And so does poor Chrissy here. Look what you're doing to this simple girl. Have you something you'd like to say, Sister Adelaide?
No, I don't.
Are you sure? You do it.
I really don't think...
I insist. Sit.
Our Father, who art in heaven,
Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses as we forgive those who trespass against us. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. Amen.
Amen. Come, Josephine.
Why didn't you tell us? 7 months you've kept this a secret from us. On top of everything you've done. Fighting. Stealing. Undermining my boys. Punching your sister. This is by far the worst! The worst! Do you know how embarrassing this is for me and your mother? I'm not going to be able to set foot in that church again. Do you know the amount of shame you have brought on this family now? How can you be so selfish to commit such a disgusting sin? I've spoke to Father Thomas. You go into the convent. No! I've had me say no. That's no grandchild of mine. Father Thomas, thank you for coming to see us today. Please, come on in.
Yes, Mr. Wells.
Can I offer you a drink?
No, thank you. I'm only here for a short amount of time whilst I do my rounds.
Ah, yes, that's fine, Father.
So, how was work going?
Ah, it's going well, yes. I've been offered the promotion.
This is good to hear. And the family?
We are dealing with the change.
It will take time, Mr. Wells. I'm here to update you on Mary.
I still can't believe she's committed such a disgusting sin.
She's being educated and put in the right direction. The past is the past, Mr. Wells. She took the wrong path, but God will guide her and show her the way in society.
It's good to hear. And the baby?
The baby's already been assigned to a lovely wedded Catholic couple from the United States of America. For 5 more years they've been trying for the baby, and now being blessed by the Lord.
It's fantastic news, Father. I'm just glad something good has come out of something so
awful.
Hello, Father.
Hello, child. How is school going?
Very well, Father. Top of my class.
This is good to hear.
Yes, we are raising this one on the right path, away from sin.
Very good.
How's Mary?
Don't ask questions like that.
No, Mr. Wells, it's fine. Mary is fine. She's being looked after very well.
Good. The baby?
I said, don't ask questions like that. Father, I'm sorry. I apologise.
I'm sorry, Father.
Go and help your mother out in the kitchen or something.
Goodbye, Father.
God bless. I can see she loves her sister very much.
She does. It's a shame I don't feel the same way anymore.
As I said, Mr. Wells, it will take time. Let's get going anyway. Business to attend.
Ah, yes. Thank you so much, Father. God bless.
Farewell, Mr. Wells.
First of all, I'd like to thank you both for agreeing to meet with me today. And I'd just like to reassure you that your request for anonymity will be honoured. So, I'd just like to start out by asking, who did you think those women were?
I would have presumed that they were prostitutes, and that was the popular myth at the time, but actually, only a little % of those girls were in prostitution. A lot of those girls were there because they were destitute. But I think the main reason that they were in there was because of the stigma attached to being an unmarried mother or a single mother.
There are a vast array of reasons why women were sent to the Magdalen laundries, and a number of these women had special needs, this being the language we use today, be it physically or mentally. Women were the ones that were downtrodden. Men got away with things that women would never get away with.
And did the public know about these places?
My mother told me that she knew there was a place that women disappeared to, but she didn't know they were called laundries. A few of those women she knew, but back then their families just didn't want to know.
Families had away the shame as a fallen woman, as they were called. There was nothing about fallen men.
Do you feel that the McLeese report has blamed the reputation of the order?
All the shame of an era has been dumped on the religious orders, and a number of these orders are expected to carry the total blame. We were the end providers in the line. We didn't go out advertising for these girls who were pregnant.
Do you think that it's about time you should apologise?
Apologise?
For what? Apologise for providing a free service for this country. Yes, it might have been hiding an ugly part of society, but it was their families who chose to put them there, not us.
Society at the great time had a great need to help these women, and we stepped in.
So why aren't you speaking out?
I don't remember. 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 I said to someone, I was told I was abandoned, blindly unaware that my mother was stood in a room not too far from me, working with the machinery that eventually killed her. They killed her. Them. Every day I wonder what it would be like to be part of a normal family, to be with my family, my mum. Mum? Day in, day out, I wonder why. Didn't she want me? Did she want me? No, she can't, but what if... Did she leave me? I don't remember. I don't remember. I don't remember. I don't remember. scares me the most. It's easy to come to terms with something when you know what it is. But what if you don't remember? Do you remember? Yes. I remember.
My name is Father Adam Brennan. For my first assignment, being ordained, I was sent to Ireland.
For almost a decade, I worked in Dublin as a priest and a preacher.
I was responsible for the operation of many church-run institutions in the region.
And 2 industrial schools in Hyde Park, Magdalen Laundry.
My name is Father Adam Brennan. At the start of my career, I was diligent,
passionate,
truly dedicated to the religious mission.
I worked hard and gave all to my community.
I truly believed that what I was doing was right.
But somewhere along the line, things started to go wrong.
The life of a priest is not an easy one.
I became angry, selfish, drunk on the power awarded to me by God.
Every man has his limits.
The life began to eat away at me.
And every man has his needs.
And I hated what I had become.
My name is Father Adam Brennan.
Under my care were dozens upon dozens of women.
And children.
Ultimately, I was responsible for the well-being of hundreds of vulnerable people.
You see, I used to think I could help them.
I was supposed to protect them from sin.
But you can't help people like that. They're not right in their heads.
She was just a little girl.
She was born with sin.
I should never have done it.
My
name is Father Adam Brennan. In the year 1979, I forced myself upon a 15-year-old girl. She was a new penitent in Hyde Park Laundry. Young, beautiful,
a virgin.
I raped her.
I did what any other man would have done.
Forgive me, Lord, for what I have done.
She was a temptress.
She was a mistake.
She deserved it.
She was a child.
My name's Father Adam Brennan.
My name's Father Adam Brennan. I have sinned.
My name's Father Adam Brennan, and I don't regret a thing.
My name is Father Adam Brennan, and I beg the Lord for forgiveness.
My name's Father Adam Brennan, and I will never apologise.
My name is Father Adam Brennan, and I'm so sorry for what I did.
My name is Father Adam Brennan, and I will do it again.
I have this constant fear of being watched, having this overwhelming presence peering over me. I can't control it. Sometimes it controls me. No matter how hard I try, it'll never leave me. Sometimes my own shadow scares me, and I can't always tell the difference. Reality feels like an illusion. I'm living in fear, living with this. I can't escape. There's no escape. I'm trapped inside my own mind and there's no one in the way from that.
Firstly, I want to thank you for talking to me today. I can't begin to imagine how hard this must be for you. Just do everything at your own pace, take your own time, and if at any point you want to stop the interview, just say, and it'll be over. Okay? This is Stephen O'Royden, interview 37 for Forgotten Maggie's documentary. I'm here with Murray O'Keefe. Murray was in a mother and baby home run by the Sisters of Mercy in Dublin. Okay, Mary, whenever you're ready.
We were entrusted into their care, and they were supposed to look after us. Well, we were put down from day one by them nuns. We were crucified by them. And we were nothing. We were classed as nothing. We were told that we came from nothing, that we never would be anything, that we would always go back to being nothing. When I went down there, they told me they were changing my name to Monica. And I said, "You're not changing my name." But what frightened me most of all when I went down there was seeing all those elderly ladies, that I was going to end up like that. I mean, there they were walking around like ghosts, just all frail, worn away, empty shells of people. The door was locked. And I wouldn't eat, I wouldn't sleep. I knew I was never going to get out of there. I knew I was there for life. I just said to the nun, "Let me die. Let me die. I'm not staying here."
So what you're saying is, they were trying to take your identity, trying to take everything that makes you you, everything that makes you an individual. Even after all these ladies' interviews that I've done, each with their own horror story, it still shocks me to the core. If you don't mind, could you just tell me what were the circumstances that led you into being in the laundry?
You know, I distinctly remember the nuns at school telling me my mother was in some lock-up somewhere, so I actually thought sometimes maybe one of those old women could have been my mother. And every time I saw someone, I thought, is that my mother? Could that be my mother? And we could have lived together for years and years and never known it. My mother was put in there when she was 4 months pregnant, you see, with me. And she was put into the Magdalene laundries because she was an unmarried mother. Just one generation after another, wiped out like that.
And is your mother still unknown?
Yes.
Mary, I can tell you're getting quite distressed. Are you okay to carry on?
Yes. Yes, sorry, I want to carry on. I can do this. Go on.
Okay, only if you're sure. So in terms of education...
What education? We never got anything. And just sometimes I look back and I think, why didn't I get my education? Why was I sent away? Why was I cleaning a church floor all day long when I was just a little girl? Why? What did I do that was so wrong? This terrible, terrible thing happened to me. Why did they do this to me? Why wasn't there somebody there to stick up for me and say, hey, no, this is a little girl. This is a child. She's done nothing wrong. She shouldn't be here.
The church and the state led the families of these women to believe that they're going to get a better quality of life with a better education. Every Maggie I meet, I ask the same question and the same answer, no education. Can you share with me now how it's affecting your life?
My life? Shattered. And I blame the church and the state for doing this to me. Incarcerating me into the Magdalene laundries in case I had a child. In case I got pregnant. What is wrong with having a child? That's not a crime. But the majority of the women in there did have children who were taken from them.
Mary, by talking to me today, you're helping bring attention to what went on in the laundries. You're helping shed light on everything that happened. But I'm interested, after all the years of silence, why speak now?
Who has the right to take a person's life away? Well, who gives these people, the church and the state, the right to take people's lives? They took my mother's life. They took my home away from me. They took my family away from me. And they took the children that I should have had. That's why.
When I was 20 years old, I had a baby boy in a Muslim baby home run by nuns. He was so beautiful. I kept saying, isn't he beautiful? I was hoping on marrying his father. He came to visit me when the baby was first born. I thought everything would be okay. But then he was gone. He wasn't answering my letters. The nuns weren't sending my letters out at all. And I never received a letter from him. The nuns arranged for illegitimate babies to be placed in orphanages, and they gave you no choice. But I had loved and cared and nurtured him for almost 10 months when the nun came and said to me, when you're done in the nursery, come to my office. You're going home today.
And so it is, just like you said it would be. Life goes easy on me most of the time. And so it is, the shorter story. No love, no glory. No hero in her sky. I can't take my eyes off of you. 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 I can't take my eyes. And so it is, just like you said it should be. We'll both forget the breeze most of the time. And so it is, colder water, the blower's daughter, the pupil ended I can't take my eyes off of you. 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 Can't take my eyes off of you. I can't take my eyes. Can't take my mind off of you. I 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 can't take my mind. My mind.
Upon the accused convicted who has confessed, Moreover, there should be an imposed abjuration. According to the different cases, if there is a light or a strong suspicion of heresy, into which, because of the nature of the crime, soliciting priests falls into, or even of formal heresy, if by the chance of crime of solicitation has been joined to false dogma.
He who has committed the crime of solicitation should be suspended from the celebration of Mass and from the hearing of sacramental confession, or even, according to the gravity of the delict, should be declared incapable of accepting them.
For all patriarchs, archbishops, bishops, and other diocesan ordinaries, even of the Oriental Rite,
he should be deprived of all benefices and dignities of his active and passive voice, and be declared incapable for all of these, and in the more grievous case, also be subjected to reduction.
on the manner of proceeding in cases of the crime of solicitation.
Anonymous denunciations generally must be rejected. However, they can have supportive force or give the occasion for further investigations. If the particular circumstance of the matters involved render an accusation probable.
When a priest tempts a penitent, the object of this temptation is to solicit or provoke the penitent towards impure and obscene matters, whether by words or signs or nods of the head.
If after the first admonition, other accusations against the same accused take place concerning solicitations, preceding the admonition itself, the ordinary should see, according to his own choice and conscience, whether the first admonition should be considered sufficient or whether he should proceed a new admonition or even further measures.
The promoter of justice. In case where he has not been cited, unless by chance, even if not cited, he is still present at the process, the act must be considered totally invalid.
For the most part, there are 3 areas which such an inquisition must cover, and they are: the past history of the denounced person, the consistency of the denunciation, or the persons solicited by the same confessor, or, however conscious of the crime, whether any of them, as not rarely happens, have been persuaded to make the denunciation by those denouncing.
Smile pretty, Alice. We both know one thing, the truth. We both know what you've done. We both know.
I just want to make it clear. I'm not meeting you here because I'm scared of you. This is me doing you a favour. Whatever has been said about me didn't happen.
It was 10 o'clock on a cold winter's night. The streets were quiet and there was nobody to be seen. I was walking through the town coming home from Walton Jail as I am the Catholic chaplain there. The fog was strong and it was hard to see.
I'm not bad. Then you find I'm good. But I do believe this will all be forgotten.
Believe it or not, I know women. And not just because in chaplain in a girls' school with all the most teachers. My whole life I've been surrounded by women. Everywhere I go, there are women. I need only stand outside the church for a couple of moments and someone will come up to me to gossip, for advice, to offer help if I become lost. But men don't do that. Men keep the distance.
Will your husband and good man ever come to know what a louse you truly are? A real whore is what you are.
Then there are women who ask,
Are you happy being a priest, Father?
choose once, but not always. You know what I mean? If it's too shy to say it, something straight out of it.
Are you never tempted, Father?
Did you think it was okay to open your legs for that other man? Did you rationalise it to yourself and justify it in the face of God? You call yourself a holy woman.
How stupid are you? We knew even are you some more.
I had an idea of opening up a refuge for fallen women. As I knew it was a great idea, I knew I hadn't hired staff. So I hired the Sisters of Notre Dame to help. They were nice nuns and very polite.
Most of the time it's curiosity, sometimes on attention. You see it in the eyes, searching wide open. The body language so subtle that you hardly notice it. Chest a little forward, and the mouth's almost offering a kiss. What they really wanted to know, if they were so feminine, that they needed to choose a man off the cloth.
I knew that I had made the right decision until I found out about what the nuns were actually up to.
We're all tempted, I say, but prayer can save us all from sin. Yet, you want to know something? Most of the times it was me, not them that wanted to sin, that was desperate to sin. I would want every woman that I saw, teenager, grandmother, all the ages in between. I belong for warm skin and flowing hair. My perfumes and earthier scents. My eyes will be laid by breasts and rumps, high heels and makeup, all the symbols of femininity. For 10 or more years, night after night, I made love to women. My hand rested on firm right breasts, my mouth kissed soft red lips, I unzipped girls' skirts and watched them fall, flicked open bra claps of agile fingers. Again and again in that bedroom upstairs, I satisfied my lust with every woman that crossed my path, and they took my fancy.
Numbers don't add up.
I know they don't. I just want to try and get it finished.
You've seen how much has been rejected.
Didn't you hear what I've just said? I just want to get it finished. Then we can just move past this.
You're starting to sound like one of them.
Remember, you're the reason we're involved in this. They chose you to do this job.
You chose me for this position. I didn't get asked to get brought into this by them. What happens when people see this? Surely it won't settle anybody.
Look, they must have a plan in place for us, but they wouldn't have got us involved otherwise.
There are the protest groups forming, and the coverage is becoming a serious problem. When this releases, we'll be in the limelight, and soon enough, we'll have to make a statement.
Don't you think I know that? But if we don't give them something, it'll just be much worse. Don't you see that?
How many pages do we have together?
It's a moderate amount. But everything included even barely scratches the surface of what happened in here. And whatever we find, we need to send to them to be stored in their archives.
Of course they would. Love to keep their secrets away from prying eyes. What if the public backlash is too heavy? You know the consequences we could face from this?
You see, we could go down for this. We could lose our jobs, Martin. No matter what we do, it's bad for us, don't you see?
This isn't our fault. There's nothing we could do to stop them. We are pawns in this. There's no way we could overturn them.
Look, the courier will be here soon.
Will it be ready?
It'll have to be. Go home, Martin. Get some sleep. You're going to need it.
And what will you do?
I'll wait here for the courier, get it finished, and then I'll try and get some rest. I doubt it I will, but I'll try.
Good night, Prime Minister. Good luck.
Good night, Martin.
Mary. Quick, come in.
What are you doing?
Work.
Oh.
Did you need anything?
Do I need an excuse?
Someone might come in.
Don't be silly, the girls are always working.
Well, you never know. The girls are often walking in.
I'll shut the door then, shall I?
Mary! If one of the girls have a problem, then it's my duty to take care of it. Is there a problem?
It's just that sometimes I feel like you put those girls before me.
And?
Me and you, we're in love.
What? What are you talking about?
Don't you think about it? I do. I think
You have no right to assume something like that we're in love.
I think about it all the time. You must too.
Watch what you're saying. We could get excommunicated from the church for this.
I don't care. We could be together without anybody judging us.
Why would I risk my position over a stupid fling?
A stupid fling.
Mary, why can't you just be like all the other sisters? They don't make a big deal out of it.
The other sisters.
Mary, if you wish to keep your well-respected position in this convent, then I suggest all of this ends right here. Good day.
Sister, I came to see Father Thomas.
Here you go, love. So, how's your day been?
Good.
Richard gone back to work yet?
Yes.
How
Return today.
How is he?
What?
How is he?
He's good. He's just getting on with it, you know. Like we had to.
That poor family. Can't imagine going through that pain again. That pain never really goes away. Does it? Oh look, daffodils have grown. It's been a while now, hasn't it?
Which has?
Since Mary went.
Yes.
I just think it's about time we got her back in our life.
That's enough now.
I want her back. I need her
That's
back.
enough.
I miss our daughter. I miss her smile.
I said that's enough! Do you know what I miss? I miss the respect that this family used to have in this town.
She must be so scared. Don't you think she's scared? She must miss us. I miss her more and more every day. What if she thinks that we've abandoned her? That we don't love her anymore? She's our daughter, our baby girl. I just want her back.
And our daughter's a filthy whore, and she will remain a whore until the priest says different.
If you are going to break the crockery, girl, then you will be punished. I don't want to hear your excuses. You will stand on that chair for 24 hours and say your prayers. Move!
Hail Mary, full of grace, the Lord is with thee. Blessed art thou amongst women, and blessed is the fruit of thy womb, Jesus. Holy Mary, Mother of God, pray for us sinners now and in the hour of our death. Amen. Hail Mary, full of grace, the Lord is with thee.
Blessed art thou among women, and blessed is the fruit of thy womb, Jesus. Holy Mary, Mother of God, pray for us sinners now and at the hour of our death. Amen.
Hail Mary, full of grace, the Lord is with thee. Blessed art thou amongst women, and blessed is the fruit of thy womb, Jesus. Holy Mary, Mother of God, pray for us sinners now and at the hour of our death. Amen.
Hail Mary, full of grace, the Lord is with thee. Blessed art thou amongst women, and blessed is the fruit of thy womb, Jesus. Holy Mary, Mother of God, pray for us sinners now and in the hour of our death. Amen.
Blessed art thou amongst women, and blessed is the fruit of thy womb, Jesus. Holy Mary, Mother of God, pray for us sinners now and in the hour of our death. Amen.
Amen.
Kathleen Legg, also known as number 27.
A survivor. But how he survived, I'll never know.
Samantha Long. Margaret Bullen was my biological mother, but I was taken from her at 7 weeks.
Carmel Merritt, daughter of Mary. I was taken away from her in a mother and baby home. Ironic, isn't it?
I couldn't bear the shame. That's why I didn't tell anyone. All the lies I'd been told, the lies I told others, the ones I loved, became my truth. And I didn't want to believe it. Any of it. I just wanted to save my family from the shame and the embarrassment.
Margaret died in the laundry, and no one even knew. Not one of us were informed. What can I say? None of us expected any of this. I can't seem to get my head around it all.
Mary was raped by a priest. Somebody who was supposed to represent purity. Somebody who's supposed to represent love and protection committed the most evil crime, and they got away with it. Everybody knew, and no one said anything.
The constant work I was forced to do by the nuns was intolerable. They robbed me of my life and the life I could have given to others. A chance to create something. A family. Gone. And it's my fault. Because I didn't know how to lift heavy equipment. Because I didn't know what I was doing. How could I?
I
I keep going over everything in my head. We were robbed of our love, robbed of our precious time together. I never should have left it in there. I should have done more. I should have been there. And I feel in some way to blame for all of this. And the pain, it won't go away. I searched for over a decade for my biological mother. With the help of the British Social Services a few years ago, we found her. I always imagine the stories my mum would tell me, you know. But nothing could prepare me for the truth. Nothing would prepare me for my mum's story.
The nuns treated us like slaves. They emotionally tormented every girl to walk into that laundry. I didn't know how old I was. Birthdays were never celebrated. There were no mirrors. I was there 3 years and I wasn't paid once.
How could this happen? Happen to us. Happen to so many women. And you know what? Why was it only women? Hey, only girls. I'm so angry how people could get away with this for so long and to so many. She was just lovely and strong and full of love for me. Even though I'd been stolen from her, even though I'd been adopted into another family, she always loved me as my mother.
I have nightmares. Even now. During my time at the laundry, a man from asylum broke in and stood right at the end of my bed. Why me? It doesn't sound like much. For such a young, naive girl, it's the most terrifying thing. It still is.
Can't believe we'll never see her again. Should have asked her more questions. Gave her more of my time. Now it's too late. She's gone. Forever. I always remember her optimism, despite her situation. She never let it get to her, you know. She was strong. I wouldn't have been able to cope. She asked me, do I blame her? I am angry, yeah. Angry that we never got our time. Angry that we never had our chance. But I don't blame her. Never her. Nothing was your fault, man.
It's strange, really. For many women, it was a man who oppressed them. But it was also a man who uplifted them.
I've been thinking it through and realised what's important now is we get some justice for these women. Yeah. That's all that counts. I am ready for what the future holds. I am hopeful. I am ready for what the future holds. I am hopeful. I'm ready for what the future holds. I'm hopeful.
must obey the religious orders. We sincerely apologise. The laundries has cast a long shadow of Irish life over a sense of who we are.
I joined the laundry with 2 other girls similar age to me. None of us knew why we were here. I remember a nun telling me, "You're from an illegitimate mother. That's why you're here." You were so cruel to us verbally.
Your mother doesn't want you, and that's why you're here.
Things like that.
I used to find myself up at 3 in the morning, breast leaking, because I should have been feeding our baby, thinking that you were most probably living your life or looking after another woman's children. And I was so filled with hate because I didn't understand why you didn't put up a fight for me. Or her, for that matter.
I remember him the day of my mother's funeral. He looked at me with godly eyes. I thought, in his company, I should be safe. He grabbed my hand and took me to an orphanage not far from my old home. When we arrived, I looked up at him for reassurance and he responded with a gentle smile.
One day I was working in the laundry. A nun came to fetch me. She took me to a room on my own, and there were 2 ladies standing there. They wasn't nuns. They were dressed in navy. They stripped me naked and they told me to stand on a tall stool. They said they'd beat me if I didn't stay standing. One of them tripped me foot and caused me to fall. They taunted me and they sniggered at my daddy.
I was 8 years old. But this man was not a man of God. Years passed after my mother's death and he would abuse me terribly. He would hit me across the back with a stick and make me beg for forgiveness. As I grew older and matured, he would sometimes come up to me and close his eyes and slap me across the face for no reason. It all happened so quickly.
They punched me, side to side. I said I was dizzy and I kept saying I was dizzy. Later that day, we had to go with the rest of the Magdalens for church, dinner and prayers.
A nun on a tall stool asked the 3 pennies what the names were.
I looked at the other girls and they were bruised too. That was the last time I ever saw her beaten. I guess I was lucky. Sometimes, mostly overnight, he would take me from my room so we were alone. And he would throw me to the floor. I would just lie there, not knowing what he was doing. I felt a burning sensation and afterwards I felt swollen. I would just lie there in stillness until he would get off me. I would resist the screams that were inside of me.
one thing I'll forever be grateful for is seeing her smile, smelling her hair, hearing the tiny little cooing noises. Those are things that stay with me forever. Do you know what else will stay with me forever? Going to the nursery for the last time to see a barren, redundant cot.
She gone? They'd taken my baby and they didn't tell me.
I will never forgive my parents for allowing me to be in here.
And I'll never forgive you for allowing our child to go up for adoption. Not when you could have saved us. You could have tried. You could have tried.
It was July. A healthy baby boy. My healthy baby boy. My Anthony. Then, 3 years later, he was taken away.
Then 3 years later, I was given away. Something told me that she loved me. I knew she loved me.
Every day I worked, I thought of him. The thought of him alone is what got me through most days. It gave me hope. Hope that all this pain and torture would be worth it. Because one day I'll see him again. I need to see him again.
Part of me is missing. I always think about her and about why this had to happen. I have to find her. I need to find her. I keep hoping something will lead me to her. But how? I don't know. I don't even know her name.
I asked the sisters if they knew where he was, and if I could write to him to tell him that I love him and that I couldn't control it. I can't control it. There was a fire. They lost his records. They lost him.
I found the sisters. If anyone knew where my mother would be, surely it would be them. Finally, I'd had my answers. But when I got there, they told me how she abandoned me. She didn't want me. It's not true.
They only ever gave me 1 hour a day with him when he was here. Those were the best hours of my life. What I'd do to have that time back again. One day, I went to see him as usual. He was gone. They'd had him adopted from right under my nose. They didn't tell me this would happen. They didn't tell me he had gone. They didn't let me say goodbye.
I wondered if she knows where my parents are now. I know she cares. I don't know how I know. I just do.
We didn't get the chance to have our lives together. I didn't get the chance to be his mother. They even changed his name. He was never my Anthony. He was someone else's Michael.
I became the chief legal counsel in the National Republic Committee. I wondered if she knows. I wondered if she's proud.
I still think of him, and I'm still looking for him.
I wonder if the sisters really lost his papers in the fire, or if they lied to me to keep me quiet. None of that will matter once I find him. I just want to be able to hold him again.
August 15th, 1995. I never wanted to believe that it would end like this, but part of me always knew that it would.
August 15th, 1995. My Anthony passed away 8 years before I could find him.
I am the local school mistress who worked hard to know the zilch I knew about this. I am the department inspector who remembered the questions not to ask. I am the concerned citizen who never heard their heavy clogs go by forced marchers up the Dublin Road. I am the editor of the Team Herald who talked instead about the Pope's visit. I am the county councillor concerned about the cost to the ratepayer per skeleton of piling that many small ones of whom no one had ever heard into a disused hole in the ground no one knew anything about.
An estimated 50,000 babies were born in mother and baby homes in Ireland alone. It is still unclear how many of these babies was adopted, sold, or never got to reach double digits. The last of these homes closed in 1996. This is 3 years after a mass grave of 155 corpses was discovered. In 2014, an unmarked mass grave was discovered in Tuam. Within were the bodies of 800 dead babies, none older than the age of 5. 2015, another mass grave found. 72 young women who never got to leave the convent's grounds. 2017, more babies and toddlers discovered in Tuam. They were in underground sewage and wastewater chambers. Over 1,000 Magdalene women and countless babies are buried in wrongly or completely unmarked mass graves throughout Ireland. It was what we were told to do. They were sinners and bastards. Anything can be justified if you believe in what you're doing it for. You're asking if I feel guilt or shame for the part I've played. Have you ever had to hold a dead infant? Bury a tiny, lifeless human who got caught up in the sins of their mother.
My name is Sean Knight. I'm a journalist and I've wrote for many different publications. One story that stands out is a mass gravesite that was found in Tuam. 800 bodies had been found. And the worst part about it was at the site of a former Catholic care home. See, I've always had a fascination with control, and no one does this better than organised religion. See, with religion, everything's controlled. The way you dress, what you eat, who you fall in love with. And nobody can see what's happening in front of them. And it's easy to see why. Think of something ridiculous, something so absurd that it can never be true. 2 plus 2 is 5. Now, if someone came up to you and said to you, 2 plus 2 is 5, you'd laugh at them, you'd ridicule them. Now, imagine you're a child. From the moment you're born, your parents say to you that 2 plus 2 is 5. And every day, when you went to school, 2 plus 2 is 5. There was institutions, laws, all set up around the fact that 2 plus 2 is 5. You wouldn't question it. You'd grow up. You'd have kids of your own. You'd teach your kids that 2 plus 2 is 5. And sooner or later, the religious institutions don't need to do anything. They can just sit back, let you do all the work, and reap all the benefits. Anybody who masters the art of brainwashing can control the world. Anyone who could brainwash someone in such a way that they turn against their own children and send them to a place of slaughter and slavery do not deserve a place in modern society. And yet, the laundries are proof that not only are they here, but they are never going away. And there is not a damn thing anyone can do about it.
I want the state to apologise for keeping these women behind bars. I want the church and the state to apologise for all the years of slave labour done by these vulnerable women.
I would like the church, the state and society to redress their reputations and apologise for keeping these women down, for denying them education, money, freedom, their babies and their lives. All those things.
And I would like that the circumstances these women find themselves in, due to the missing pieces of their life that the rest of us get, end up with the same chance as everyone else. Because they had no education. So let's face it, what chance did they stand?
They were sitting ducks. Keep them down, keep them unaware of their rights, keep them without money, feed them a little bit, just enough for work, give them their wages. Give them their wages now.
I begin today's debate by thanking Dr. McLeese and his team for their excellent work on the report. I also thank equally all of the women involved in its completion and the religious orders who cooperated fully with Dr. McLeese. Together, we have provided Ireland with a document of truth.
The Magdalene Laundries has cast a long shadow over Irish life, over a sense of who we are. It's just 2 weeks since we received the report, the first ever detailed report into the state involvement of the Magdalene Laundries. It shines a bright and necessary light on a dark chapter of Ireland's history. On coming to office, the government was determined to investigate the facts of the state's involvement. The government was adamant that these ageing and elderly women received the compassion and recognition they fought so long, deserved so deeply, and had, until now, been abjectly denied. The reality is that for 90 years, Ireland subjected these women and their experiences to a profound and studied indifference.
And it's because of this government took the necessary time not only to commission the report, but to actually study it, and having done so, reflect on its findings. I believe that this was the best way to formulate a plan and strategy to help make amends for the state's hurt against these extraordinary women. I am so glad that so many of these women agreed with that approach. Upon my time of reflection, it gave me the opportunity to do the most important thing of all, to meet personally with the Magdalene women, to sit down with them, face to face, and listen to their stories.
In the name of the Father, the Son, and of the Holy Spirit. Amen.
It was a humbling and inspiring experience, and I am privileged today, as their Prime Minister, to welcome some of these women to this house, some who have travelled a long distance to be here with us. I warmly welcome you all to your national parliament, to the Delhi of Irene. But today, we talk about your stories. Today, we talk about how you took this country's dark secrets and you made it your own, carrying it with you in your hearts, to your home, to Canada, to England, America and Australia. But today, you carry it no more. Today, we take it back. Today, we acknowledge the state's role in your ordeal. As a society, we failed you. We forgot you. Or if we didn't forget you, we talk about you in untrue and unnecessary, untrue and offensive stereotypes. This is a national shame, and for that, I am sorry. For that, I offer my full, heartfelt apology. But to conclude today's debate, a Magdalene woman once sang to me a song, A Whispering Hope. A line from that song remains in my head today. When the dark midnight ends, watch for the breaking day. Let's hope that this debate today will spark a new dawn for all the women who thought that the dark midnight would never end.
Justice! The nuns robbed me of my right to write my pudding in this way! Give them their wages! Give them their wages now! Justice for the give them their wages! Sit up! Sit up! Sit up! Sit up! Sit up! Sit up! Give them their wages!
to her. She asked me, do I blame her? I am angry. Angry that we never got our time. But I don't blame you, man. Never you.
What's the price to tear a child away from its mother? What price would you put on years of slave labour? What price would you put on years of abuse and rape inflicted by those who were meant to care?
My name is Father Adam Brennan, and I am so sorry for what I did.
And I would do it again.
The most precious thing that can be stolen is a person's time. Time is one of the only things in the world you cannot buy. We can maybe prolong, but can't go backwards. And it makes me think, will anything ever be enough? Can anything that is ever built or signed or any apology ever match that time being taken away? Can't. Never will. But maybe we can educate. Because in a modern society, do we really understand what is right and what is wrong? This didn't end in 1996. It's 2018 and it's still going on. To create a life takes so much. We change who we are, what we know, we change our bodies and allow another life to grow. To develop, to nurture a life inside a soul. And when they are ready, their mother becomes their home. You took away and sold a life. Sold a life. It's history repeating itself in another time, another place. To ensure this doesn't happen again, that's why today we stand here and present this case. And if it was for the love and the right in the eyes of God, then maybe when you lay your head and imagine yourself at those gates, maybe, just maybe, He'll show you the consequences of your cruelty and hate, the shame you caused and the crimes you committed, and you will be left in an eternity of loneliness like the thousands you admitted. God is love. God is kind. God is warm. God is a safe place. God is you. God is me. God is whatever you want it to be. But let that inspire. Let it help lives. Let it be free. Let it create a better place, a future. God is not,
should not,
be a man-made disaster.